Oh, all right. And so, as always, we'll start with taking refuge. And we'll do the short Dzogchen refuge prayer. Sanje Chodange Dun the Chapsu Chiwo, Lama Yidam Kandro the Chapsu Chiwo, Sa Lung Tigli the Chapsu Chiwo, Chuko Lanku Troko the Chapsu Chiwo, Rang Sem Tong Sem Nyo the Chapsu Chiwo. So this goes through the outer, inner, secret, and it's like super secret and uber secret levels of refuge, right? And traditionally, kind of across the board through schools of Buddhism, we're envisioning, they like you to visualize this lineage tree, the field of refuge in front of you. And so what is that? What is that? We have, our image of the Buddha, this being that has gone beyond into this fully awakened consciousness. And that takes many forms, right? And we have many forms of that in Buddhism. You could use Kuntuzangpo, Samantabhadra, same. Or one of many teachers that have come, lived in the past, Guru Rinpoche, a Dalai Lama, Karmapa. This also contains fully awakened beings through time. You could say, some people like to put Jesus in there as a fully enlightened being. And so you have all of these teachers in front of you, and their teaching is the Dharma. And then the full assembly that appears around is the Sangha. And so we can visualize the teacher in front of us. And then when we visualize the assembly, we start with our mother and father on either side of us, which is exceptionally powerful if you have a troublesome mother and father like myself, right? Don't skip things because they're hard, right? So mom and dad on either side, your siblings, your close relations, your friends are, surrounding you to the sides and behind. And then you have your enemies and your difficult people in front of you, right? And you're surrounded by beings. And then on the further edges are people that are kind of neutral. And in this visualization, we want to keep populating our surroundings here. Like imagine in your room, like last time we talked about, this is not an ordinary, it's ordinary and extraordinary layered on top of each other. So I'm in my studio and I'm in the Pure Land, and it's just packed with infinite sentient beings. And here we take the Buddha in front of us, and we visualize the Buddha coming to the crown of the head. And then you can imagine the top of the central channel opens up and you suck the Buddha down like you're sucking through a straw down into your heart. And so now you have a little Buddha in your heart. And the awakened heart, bodhicitta, of the Buddha, becomes one with your heart. Inviting all sentient beings to practice the Dharma with us today. So in this next part of Words of My Perfect Teacher that I'm hoping everybody at least skimmed through, if you haven't read it already. We talk about the concept of precious human rebirth. Or Lama Lina likes to call it full human opportunity. So it's not every being that gets this, right? There's circumstances involved. And the text goes into detail, like lists them. This is a very common thing in the Buddha Dharma, is you see a lot of lists. It's easy to memorize a list. It's easy to teach a list, right? And so some of these circumstances are kind of out of your control. Your direct control. You can't control what time in this great expanse of time you're born in. You can't really control where you're born. You can't control whether or not the Dharma is available in your vicinity. You don't really have a choice over the capabilities of your body, right? So you could be born with severe cognitive issues, or born without one of your sense faculties. You could be born in a place where practicing the Dharma is illegal, and you could be, incarcerated for practicing Dharma. But we're all here right now. So that tells me that at least the people in this Zoom have a precious human rebirth, right? So you can understand, we have a common language, right? We have a way to communicate complex subjects with each other, not just danger there, mate there, food here, it can go deeper than that. And we also have enough safety and enough stability in our lives to create the space for Dharma practice, right? So when people are stuck kind of in a survival mode, it can be really difficult to say, make the time for even just taking a deep breath, it can get really difficult to create space in your mind. So this is partly an accident, but mostly it's the culmination of lifetimes upon lifetimes of effort, right? You are not here totally by chance. You have been over eons moving yourself towards this sense of openness, this sense of freedom, this sense of, looking for the out, right? And it's come slowly, slowly over time. And so for our first free write, we're going to, and for the free writes, we're just going to take pen to paper for, like 7 minutes. And just let the words flow. For this first one, I want you to think about your great grandparents, right? So most of us either don't know them or have very, like my great grandparents were all gone by the time I was like 10 or 11, So I have very fleeting memories. But they grew up. That's just enough time for things like electricity, plumbing, the internet, the telephone, the television, radio, air travel, all of these incredible modern inventions that have opened up possibilities like beyond what we could have fathomed 100 years ago, right? Has opened up access to the Dharma, has opened up our abilities to learn new skills. So things like sign language, right? So this is a way that we can say, well, it's okay if you're deaf, you can still learn the Dharma. We can do sign language and communicate, right? So think about your great grandparents and where they were, and think about where you are now. And write them a little letter and say, I woke up this morning with a precious human rebirth. Let me tell you about that. Let me tell you about the circumstances in my life that allow me and the things that we've gone through and over the last few generations that have allowed for this to happen. Think about your grandparents' education and life and work, your parents' education and life and work, your own education and life and work, and explain to your great-grandparents the journey over the past few decades to get to right here in this class and what we're doing. Can we do that? Does that sound cool? We're going to write great-grandparents a letter. You can write in any language you want. You can write in chicken scratch and shapes and hearts and stars if you want. And then when it comes to sharing, if you want to share, you can share in whatever language you want, right? And if you like to translate, great. If not, just give us the words just straight from your heart. All right? Okay, so I'm going to set a timer for 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Okay. Okay. This morning I woke up with a precious human rebirth. Great grandparents. Let me tell you about that. Sorry. Okay. I'm battling the bird. Sorry. Okay. Okay, 7 minutes. Go ahead and wrap up. Hmm. Okay, would anybody like to share their letter? Go ahead, Raymond. It's all you.
Okay. Hello, great grandparents. I never met most of you, but I've heard stories. A lot of those stories involve the level of hard work you tirelessly work towards so that your family would have the causes and conditions of a good human life. Because of your tireless effort, I've had the great fortune to be born into the legacy of the modern world. I've had the great fortune to be an excellent reader, and in reading, I have found the ability to find worlds beyond what I could have ever imagined before. I know that some of you could not read and were not educated, so thank you for making sure the structure of my future life could rest upon your efforts. My appetite in reading has led from a very young age to discover philosophy, and from this exploration, I found the Dharma. This is an incredibly auspicious fortune, and I've found legitimate lineages and teachers which have now changed my life. I'm forever in your debt. Thank you for giving me the precious human rebirth I now enjoy. From some of those stories I have heard of you, I have no doubt that the Dharma, had you the opportunity, the Dharma would have been beneficial to you as well. Since you have played an indirect role in spreading the Dharma, I hope that that there is great merit in your previous actions. I hope one day that there's the same opportunity for your mind stream to enter into the Dharma or the great lineages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else like to share? I I will, but okay, I will. I'm just gonna be brave and just share because I have thoughts about what I wrote, but whatever. Okay. Dear great grandparents, today I woke up with a precious human rebirth. Wow. You would be so proud. A woman living independently with as much education as she can find time for. We have indoor plumbing, electricity, and air conditioning. My home is a palace. I have the internet, infinite knowledge, and global connection at my fingertips. All of your labor was not in vain. I live like a princess. Even more extraordinary, I found the Dharma, how to be human, how to love, how to be free. Not just how to be a good Catholic, but how to be a human infused with God's love. And that's where I kind of had to stop. But, oh, it is, isn't it? Isn't it amazing the journeys that we make over generations and just the amount of change over these decades? It's been so just amazing. Tanya, I'd love to hear from you.
Okay. What I wrote was not so much about harm. I was not strictly, I don't know if I did it exactly. Just my thought carried me in some other direction. So, um, it's more, so it's a bit of a story about my great grandfather. So this morning I woke up with a previous human rebirth. I'm a bit outside of town right now, and in the house there is an ancient suitcase that belongs to my great grandfather Nathan. He was living for a few years in Japan, and afterwards he established himself in New York, where some of his brothers already were. And in 1920s, he decided to come to Soviet Union to build a new state, believing in the equality for people and things like that. I met my great grandfather when I was a kid, a remarkable man. I wonder how things would have unfolded if he stayed in the States or elsewhere along his path. Anyhow, here I am in wonder. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great story. Antonio, did you, or are you just throwing your hand up? You want to share?
Yes, hi.
Okay.
So this morning I woke up with a precious human rebirth. Dear great parents, let me tell you about it. I have the conditions that allow me to let the Dharma in. I have a computer and an internet connection. Wait, I'm translating. I have a computer and an internet connection that allow me to follow the teachings of Lama Lina. I have the opportunities, the physical, mental, and economical opportunities that allow me to get close to get physically close to places where the Dharma is being shared. Yeah, and I don't think that you had all of this. Probably reading this letter, you're wondering what a computer is. I have many conditions that many good conditions, yet sometimes I concentrare, I fixate on those on the not good ones, on the conditions that are not so good. Why do I even do that? I don't know. What I do know is that I want to appreciate more everything that I have that maybe you didn't have. And if not for me, I can do it for you. A big hug, hey.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else want to share? And we'll move on to the next wave. So the other thing that this chapter really drives in is that we're experiencing the human realm for the most part. And the Tibetan Buddhist system, and actually the Buddhist philosophy, breaks up existence into 6 realms of existence. And this is cultural. This is within a context. You look at the Christian context and they break it up into 3 realms, actually 4 realms. You have the living realm, hell, heaven, and purgatory, right? So you've got different realms of existence. And so in Buddhism, we have the hell realms, the hungry ghosts, the animal realm, humans, asuras, and the gods. And each of these realms have different qualities. And you can think of these realms as physical, actual places and like animals definitely exist around us. This is something we can see, and they live in a kind of a different universe than we do, you know. And so same with the hungry ghosts, with the hell beings. Yes, there is a place that you could go where you will burn and boil in a cauldron for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and then eventually that wears off, and then you're reborn somewhere else. But also there's a God realm where you live for many eons and everything is smooth and whatever you desire just appears before you and things are easy, but you don't have enough struggle to want to practice the Dharma, right? You can also look at these realms as kind of ways that we can like experiences in the human realm itself, right? So the hungry ghost realm is punctuated by like craving and want and never being satisfied. So, there's a Dharma, very popular Dharma addiction recovery organization. That's the Hungry Ghosts. I forget the name exactly, but they base it off of the Hungry Ghosts and working with that energy. And then there's the Asura realm, where like Indra's army, and they're constantly at battle with all these, incredible 30-headed elephants and, space weapons and shit. And then there's the military you can join as a person, as a human, or you could, you look at like business, high level business work, and that is very Asura realm type energy, very competitive, very cutthroat, right? So traditionally, if we were all Tibetan, I would sit you here and we would basically go through a guided meditation, many of them, where we would talk about each of the hells and each of the realms, and we would go through and you would feel in your body, right, what it's like. And so we're going to do a condensed version because we only have another few minutes. So what I want you to do is, sorry, I am battling with a 2-year-old with pliers at the end of her face. So my computer skills are okay. So pick a number 1 through 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick a number. And then what I'm going to do is pull this up. Here it is. Open. Okay. And we're going to do now here's your number. So you get a realm. Okay. So we're going to do a day in the life. So whatever whatever realm you picked. And if you need to kind of flip through the text again, skim it. So if you picked the hell realm, for example, you can pick any being in the hell realm, right? You could pick a Lemke, the ones who are doing the stabbing. You could be one of the ones being stabbed, If you pick the god realm, pick any god. It doesn't have to be Indra. It could be Dionysus. It could be, Loki. Whoever you like, right? So in your realm, pick a being, type of being, and write a day. Write your day. Do, however you might like sit down at the end of the day and write in your diary, or, maybe you want to write your daily schedule, or, but just think about what it's like to be in that life for from waking to sleeping. And we'll do another 7 minutes. Any questions? We're good? All right. Okay, let's go. Okay, finish, we'll wrap up. Okay. Stop share. Okay. Okay. Who wants to go? Antonio? Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So I picked number 3, Prater Realm. What I wrote is, I don't remember when I woke up this morning. All I can remember is that I was very hungry. I don't even know what I'm hungry of. What I do know is that I'm very, very hungry. I don't even know what I would like to eat. What I do know is that I'm hungry. I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. I don't even know, now that I think about it, if there is food around me. I'm so hungry that I didn't look for it. I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Raymond?
All right. I wake up on a cold grass ground. I chose animals, by the way. Um, the morning air, extremely cold, but my fur keeps the worst of the chill out. As soon as I awake, my first and only repetitive thought is a constant drone of food, food, food. I raise, knowing there will be some, I rise, knowing there will be some berries on the trails ahead of me, and my nose can find other goodies. My nose is really good at finding things like food, food, food. I know the trail leads to water. I can drink. The time for mating comes soon. My antlers full. The energy will make me strong, and I'll find many mates like last year. Food, food, food. As I meander, following my nose down the trail, as always, some invisible thing hits me hard. I fall down. I didn't see it. I didn't see it, smell it. Panic, run, out of breath, pain, tired, darkness.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to. I also ended up picking the Predator realm. I can't believe I woke up again. Last night I barely slept, tossing and turning over and no way to get comfortable. Somehow I was able to shut my eyes for a bit, but the light was so intense it was impossible to rest. Day comes and my mouth is full of sand. The thirst is unreal. Water is nowhere to be found. I looked all day. Just a drop, just one drop. I would be satisfied with a half a drop of water, and it is nowhere to be found. I look at leaves, at the ground, at what looks like water, but is only a burning hot reflection of the sun. I looked and looked and looked, dragging myself, my achy, exhausted body all over this damn city, and nothing, no water for me. I am shriveled and desiccated while my neighbors are plump and healthy. Tanya, go ahead.
Yeah. I picked the God's Realm. It's a super short story. Um, well, there is no need to sleep per se. The energy is flowing freely, and it's blissful most of the time. It's even more blissful when we create or procreate or make love or create some new worlds. There are gods and goddesses, and it's fun most of the time. I like it. That's about it. I suppose it was not, I guess it's supposed to be not the advertisement for the God's Realm, but
I mean, a day in the life of a god is pretty nice. right
Yeah.
up until the very, very end, and then it hits you.
Frankly, I was not looking forward very much for the precious human whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a rare thing. Anybody else want to share? Fig, go ahead.
I chose God realm also. Once I imagined a mayfly. It took 10,000 years for its feet to skitter overhead, times 10 for the ripples to subside, and just a moment to remember I'd imagined the whole thing. A diamond at the bottom of a clear lake, for now.
Anybody else want to share theirs before we move on? Okay. Yeah. So this full human opportunity, precious human rebirth is so rare and a little bit fleeting. It's something that we can lose, right? And even in this human body, we can have these experiences and be met with these circumstances where it can become very difficult or impossible to practice the Dharma. We can forget our practice, right? And so it's important to keep remembering this tool of remembering. Some mindfulness is a good word for it. The word mindfulness has become kind of like watered down in modern spirituality. But what it comes down to is this tool of remembering. And if you can remember, yes, I have a precious human rebirth. I have a full human opportunity. I am here in the human realm, and I have the power, the capability to transform my circumstances, my environment, my mind through my Dharma practice. This is what we want to keep coming back to over and over and over again. And also recognizing that as real, as solid as our experience is for us, other beings are having an equally solid experience, whatever that experience may be, right? So an animal's fear is just as solid as your fear. An addict's hunger, craving is just as solid as any other craving that you've had. A God's bliss, I'm thinking of like God realm on planet Earth. Taylor Swift's bliss is just as solid as any bliss that you've ever felt. And these things, they change in magnitude, they change in, the depths of the effects, right? But we have this really important gem available to us. That's the Dharma and our Dharma practice, right? That can take any circumstance and transform it into something much more extraordinary. So let's take what we've considered today. And if you like to pull from what you've written, that's awesome, because now we have all this beautiful, very heartfelt writing available to us. And so let's let's just take a few minutes. Let's just sit for a few minutes before we start to write. And again, let's go back to this full human opportunity that we have. So we woke up today in a place and a time where the Dharma is being taught, where the teachings are available to us. We have our sense faculties available to us. We have a common language that we can communicate in. We have a relative level of safety and leisure that gives us the free time, not only to cultivate the desire to practice Dharma, but to actually take an hour and a half out of our day and come practice together. It's amazing. We have a motivation to help sentient beings. Remember, we generated this whole field of sentient beings all around us, practicing around us at the beginning of the session. Those beings are still there. Let's just feel them again in the room with us, all together. And through our practice today, we're able to connect with those beings. And really get a sense of what other beings are experiencing, what we have experienced, what we can overcome together. So let's take another 7 minutes. I like 7 minutes. Is 7 too good or too long, too short? I like 7. Okay, 7 it is. 7 minutes. And let's write a little poem. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to rhyme. It doesn't have to do anything. It just needs to be from the heart. 2, 3, 4, 5 lines if you feel frisky. Um, Let me set the timer. And I'll take the essence of precious human rebirth and we'll sum it up for the benefit of all. Okay, here's the timer. Let's Right at 7 minutes. Wrap up your thoughts. Would anybody like to share the route? Antonio, you muted yourself. I thought you were going.
Oh yes, I thought he was going. Okay, so freedom comes in many forms. Finally, today I know that the despair was freedom all along.
Love that. Thank you. Thank you. Raymond?
All right. I'm not much of a poet, so I tried to do some haikus. I think they worked. We'll see. From out of nothing, causes and conditions led to this rebirth. Deep gratitude for having this human rebirth. Heartfelt thanks to for all. And bodhicitta spreads so that all can benefit. May all have freedom. Yeah, didn't really draw on anything that we did, but that was it.
It's beautiful. Thank you. I love the haiku. It's a favorite of mine. Yeah. Oh, and anybody else? Okay, so I want to share mine, but first, okay, so a killdeer is a kind of bird. They're kind of small, and they lay their eggs in rocks. Like they'll make a little nest in like gravel, and they'll lay their eggs, and they're very protective of the nest. And so, I mean, this bird's like, as big as this thing, and they will come at you full force to protect the nest. And they always put their nest in the worst place that you could put eggs. So that's the backstory of what a killdeer is like. Okay, a killdeer came to me on the road, said, "Back, back, back." But she was small, and I was large. So I moved forward. And a sick, wet little crunch sealed the enormity of my inattention. I didn't know. Now I know. Now I look at where my feet are landing. Okay. Would anybody else like to share on the recording? Go ahead, Tanya.
Okay. It seems every time I write something, it's slightly off.
It's creative writing. There's no rules here. We're having fun. Go for
Yeah.
it.
Okay. So the crickets are chirping, the clouds are moving, the snails are moving gently, the water is boiling, the tea is brewing, and here we are talking with Lilith, Raymond, Antonio, Misha, myself, and Josh across the globe about the condition we found ourselves in. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off the recording in a minute. So if we like to share, have some time, off the record, we can do that. So I'm gonna like wrap up the class. So you'll get another email with the next section, and then there's a Google Drive. And in the Google Drive for each week, there is a document. And so if there's anything from the writings, or if you end up, people who are watching this on their own time, if you'd like access to that, go ahead and fill out the Google Form sign-up sheet so that I have your email so I can send you the link to the Google Drive. And so on there you can share what you've written, and then that's private to us in the class. And then if you like to sign it, great. If not, great. You can leave it anonymous. And then, so that's a way that we can share for everyone. You've not been getting the emails. Okay. Just write down your email. And then make sure that you're getting them. Because sometimes they bounce back. Okay, so yeah, so if you'd like to share your work there, that would be lovely, and then we can kind of come back together in one place, everybody who's doing this outside of time. And yeah, that's it. So thank you so much. This is just such a critical concept, the precious human rebirth. It's something that we need to remind ourselves about and come back to and remember. And if we don't feel like we have that, to remember, like, oh shit, I don't feel like a precious human right now. I feel like I'm boiling in a cauldron. So I need to, come back to what I know is real. So, again, here we are in this full room, full of sentient beings, surrounded by teachers, surrounded by the teachings, and all of this understanding, this empathy that we've cultivated today. You can imagine it kind of gathering in your heart. All of your insights, all of the connection, all of the benefits from this practice. And as this circle opens back up, and all of the wisdom beings and all the worldly beings return to where they came from, we send all that benefit, all of that positive gewa opening back out with them, keeping none of it for ourselves. We're all in this together, so we share it out. Gewa di nu du dam che chi sa go pa sho. Stop the recording. Thank you all.